What is going on, everyone? It is so good to be back. I know I've been a little sporadic with the podcast. Sometimes life gets in the way. Plus, I've been enjoying the weather, getting out doing some fishing. Plus, I was pretty much just decompressing from that emotional roller coaster that the Celtics put us on. Got so close, but came up short. Hopefully next year we can get back to the finals and pull one out. It'd be nice. Been a while since we won one. To those of you who have taken the time to watch my previous episodes of the podcast, again, I always want to express my gratitude and let you know how much that means to me. I hope it sparks some debates, brought some new ideas to light. Again, thanks for the support. I know I usually tend to talk about political issues on the podcast, which, I'll still continue to do, especially with some of the things that have been brought to light and been voted on, or things that seem like we're going backwards in time, but kind of wanted to change gears just a little bit. Today's episode is called Wake Up, which is a song by one of my favorite rock groups, Rage Against the Machine, which is kind of fitting considering what I want to talk about today, which is the dangers of technology and social media, which I know, ironically, I'm using technology and social media for this podcast. I'm not trying to say all social media is bad or all technology is bad. If you're using it to connect with coworkers or friends, family, classmates, using it to promote a business, or in this case, a podcast. If you're using it to find a group that shares similar interests, those things are fine. I think it's when you're overindulging in it when it can be dangerous. Too much social media can lead to anxiety and depression. It can adversely affect your mood, your state of well-being. It can create mood swings and a sense of loneliness. It can create low self-esteem, particularly in women. It can create body image issues. Social media does create or produce these unrealistic beauty standards. A lot of women feel like they don't measure up. Their clothes are out of date. They're too fat. The makeup isn't good enough. The hairstyle's out of date. It can lead to a lot of eating disorders, I should say. It also creates this unrealistic view of life. We see these celebrities and these influencers, and you're looking at a finished product, but you don't see what happens behind the scenes. You don't know if they have a stylist, makeup artist, nutritionist, personal trainer. You don't see what it took for them to get to that point. So now you start feeling insecure, like feeling like you don't measure up. Why can't you be as beautiful or as fit as this person? But they, in most cases, have an unfair advantage. They're creating this unhealthy or unrealistic lifestyle, which creates an unhealthy comparison of ourselves to them. And again, it leads to anxiety, depression, creates eating disorders, start taking all these products that we don't need and supplements that we don't need. And that can be dangerous. Social media can also be very addicting, which is surprising to me. I guess it shouldn't be, but it can be. It's gotten to the point now where A&E has a reality show called Digital Addiction, where they stage interventions for people who are addicted to social media and their smartphones. And they actually have to go to a treatment facility to be weaned off of social media and start engaging in the real world. I never thought we would get to that point, but here we are. So, social media can also create this false fear of missing out. You think everyone is living like this grandiose life they're traveling and they're meeting celebrities. You feel like you're missing out, and you end up living vicariously through their stories, their posts. This can lead to people to feel insecure, stressed, feeling like they haven't accomplished anything. Uh, Again, leading to anxiety and depression, which is, I mean, it's not realistic. A lot of those lives aren't real. Uh, Social media can also create something called social media narcissism, which is happening with our generation, our today's generation, especially with our children. They become narcissists and egomaniacs. They seek affection and attention from others to get validation from the number of likes, followers, and shares. They rely on social media to make themselves feel good. They forget how to value themselves. They lose their sense of worth. Again, and which leads to anxiety and depression. Social media can also create what's called editing of our lives. And some of you are asking, well, what is that? Editing our lives is where we stop focusing on the little moments in our lives and we start doctoring up how we look and how our experiences look because you want to come off as perfect when, let's be realistic, no one's perfect. But you try to make these extra efforts to come off as perfect. You get lost in the mix. The person you show on social media is just a representative or a variation of who you really are. And you're basically just doing that to impress others. Let's be honest, social media is a time waster. I mean, I know a lot of us do things that waste time, video games, television. But with this, it can lead to irregular sleep patterns. Most people lay awake at night looking at their social media and not realizing how much time has passed. I mean, the blue light emission alone from the screen is harmful to our eyes. I mean, and if you think about it, all that looking at social media takes time away that we could be focusing on other things like work, hobbies. Some of us don't even really have hobbies nowadays or know what a hobby is. It could take away from time we spend with our friends and family. It could also destroy motivation, and which, if without motivation, it makes you lazy, unfocused, no goals. I mean that's pretty dangerous, and you become useless. And one thing that I think I really want to focus on, as you see these things are piling up. Again, I'm not saying all social media is bad. Too much of anything is not good for you. It damages relationships, which I'm not sure if it's ever happened to you, or where people get pulled away from their friends and family. They spend more time posting pictures and editing or updating their stories to really focus on what's going on around them. Their virtual connections are more important than their real ones. People start to feel neglected by these people. They become isolated because they're focusing on this false life that they created, or they're so busy looking at other people's false lives and so focused on likes and stars and followers and shares that they don't really take the time to appreciate that the people that are actually in their lives, their significant others, their best friends, their relatives, or even any close work relationships that you may have. I mean, there's an episode of a show that I like on Netflix called Black Mirror. I think it's the first episode of season 3 where this person, I think it's Ron Howard's daughter, or is it? I think that's who it is. She lives in this world where everything is based on stars and likes. And sadly, that's the world we're living in now, where people value that. They get some self-worth out of likes instead of focusing on the relationships that are actually in their real lives. And it's kind of sad. Um, Again, not knocking all social media. Like I said, moderation's fine. If you're using it to actually connect with people, maybe meet up with people in real life, it's fine. But I mean, we have so many people who have social anxieties, don't know how to interact, don't know how to have conversation. We have so many people focusing on taking pictures of themselves, which are selfies, I should say, or taking pictures of their food or the place that they're going, that they don't take the time to enjoy the moment. They don't know how to engage without a phone in their hand. And it's sad, especially our youth. I mean, they don't know how to interact with people. They have this false sense of entitlement through likes. I mean, it's bad enough that a lot of our kids are still learning virtually. And I don't know about you, but I still work from home. So everything's a Zoom meeting or Microsoft Teams or chat. I actually miss the times where I could go into the cafeteria and interact with someone, or go to the water cooler or the coffee machine and have a discussion about sports or politics or things that are going on in people's lives. We take those things for granted. We take people for granted nowadays, and it's kind of sad. Kids don't really have hobbies. In fact, there was a study that showed that our population is declining. Well, part of it's because of COVID and some of these things that are happening on isolation and social anxiety is because of COVID, but most of it's because of technology. Anyway, studies showed that a lot of young men are celibate on purpose because they would rather play video games and interact on social media than go out and actually meet someone face to face, actually go on a date. Which, I don't know, when I got to be old enough and actually had money, I couldn't wait to go out to see a live band or mingle with people and, try to holla at girls and get numbers. We all thought we had game back then. I mean, it's a lost art form. People aren't interacting anymore. People don't know how to interact with one another. And it's sad, to be honest with you. Everything is a swipe or a thumbs up or a rating. I mean, our society is driving us to be more and more isolated. I mean, we're ordering our groceries on our phones. We're ordering food on our phones. We're streaming everything. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do some of those things too. But what happened? I also go out and to different stores. We took at musical instruments, video games, local bait shop during the summer to get fishing equipment. I mean, we're losing our malls thanks to Amazon. Everything is just looking on our phone. And at what cost? We're losing our humanity. It's like the machines are taking over, like in a lot of these movies. So, I mean, we really need to look in the mirror and just evaluate how much time we're focusing on technology and social media. How much time are our kids engaging through social media? And I mean, we need to just put down the phone, turn off the screen, and just go out. Go out to dinner with your family or friends. Get together every so often. Go to the beach. Go to a game. Go see some music. Get a hobby that involves going outside, frisbee golf, fishing, golf, hiking. I mean, riding a bike. Some of these things that we take for granted, let's just get back and focus on those things and let's step away from the social media. I mean, that's just my take on things. It's just me being honest, like I always say. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic. Well, I'll be posting again soon, and I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.